industry back in 1989. I was 25 years old. And I said, I want to work in the movie business. So I packed my bag from California and started working in the movie business. And it's a very fascinating love-hate relationship. Like I always tell people, Hollywood's like dating a really hot, beautiful woman. She's gorgeous and everybody wants her. Thank you. And it's an industry that's just so fun and fast-paced. And I started as a very young man. And over the years, as I was working, it's the school of hard knocks. I was ambitious and had a lot of drive and had a lot of technique. And I learned, every time I worked with people, I picked up techniques and talent. So over the years, the more shops I worked at, I would meet new people. And new people would teach me techniques. I thought, this is fascinating. So every show I go to, I meet a new person. They teach me other techniques. And I think, after a while, I'm like, oh, I'm developing all these techniques. Well, what happened in the movie industry, I think it became a trade secret. So everybody was so afraid that to keep their techniques. The only way you learn a technique is you actually work next to a person at the shop. You go, oh, that's what you go, oh, that's how you do this. And so that was what the fun thing about the years of working. But I realized the information is ridiculously secret. And that my mission is to teach you every technique I learned over the years. And the best way to do that is making videos on YouTube. Have you guys seen my videos? Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. So, the thing that's so cool is that cosplay kind of brought me back in because I used foam techniques in the very early stages of my career. Was kind of a low budget way of doing things from movies. Most movies I've worked for are like the big budget movies and they're low budget movies. The low budget movies, they're always wanted monsters like costumes for props. They didn't really have a budget. The guy said, oh, we want this spacesuit. Oh, we got like $50. Like, well, that's not going to buy you much. Okay, here's $150. Oh, thanks. So you would do it out of foam, and so it's something that I did over the years. And foam almost became obsolete. They stopped doing it in Hollywood. Now everything's 3D printing, vacuum forming, and casting. But just when the art was dying out, the cosplay community started blowing up. And I started making videos about it, which brought foam back. And so it's amazing. So in today's episode, we're going to make a pattern. This pattern is a helmet pattern. This is the basic helmet pattern. This is what I sell on my website. And it's, again, it's a medium-sized head. I discovered while making it the size of a lady. I have a lady head. Most women, this is my head, same thing on you. I have a lady's head. So when I made this pattern, people were like, oh, it's kind of small. So I made a large helmet pattern. But today, what we're going to do today, we're going to make this. And what I'm going to do is, while I make it and do it, I can take questions. I can tell you stories, and I can also answer questions at the same time. So again, everybody, what we're using is format foam. This is usually great stuff you can get just about anywhere, inexpensive, great material to work with, because if you screw up, so what? It's just foam. So we're going to lay this down with my trusty Sharpie, and I'm going to trace this out. So while I'm tracing, does anybody have any questions?
How does that foam compare to L200?
Ah, that's a great question. He's asking how's that foam compared to L200? L200 is a closed cell foam they use in Hollywood all the time. That's what I used to start off with. Now, one thing about L200 is it's soft. It's not rigid like EVA foam. It's soft. So you can take a heat gun and shape it and bend it. All it does is get sticky and burn. You can't shape L200. L200. And so what happens is if you want dense L200, you have to spend more money. It's called it comes at L200, the number is for densities. So if you get L300, it's a little bit denser. L400, denser. And it's more expensive. And so I grew up in the industry where that was what we used, was L200s and L300. It was super expensive. And all of a sudden, this young woman named Holly Conrad came by my house. And she goes, oh, we use this stuff with EVA foam. I'm like, where's that? She just points to my floor. Those mats. I'm like, what? That's amazing. How could I not see the forest because of the trees? That stuff's everywhere. You can get that foam everywhere. So all of a sudden, I had my brain reprogrammed. The industry standard was L200. Now I was introduced to stuff about EVA foam. So, to answer your question, EVA foam rocks. L200 sucks. Way too expensive. You can't heat form it. And you know those little tricks you do with an X-Acto blade when you cut it into EVA foam and you hit it with the heat gun, it shrinks and shows the lines? A little trick? You can't do that with L200. Won't do that. So
I assume that the fuzziness from sanding L200 is because it's L200?
It gets fuzzy, and what I usually do to fix that print, you hit it with a torch.
Okay.
You can take a heat gun to it, but heat gun kind of makes it get soft and sticky, so the best way to do it is with a torch. And most times people don't want to work with a torch. Yes, sir.
How do you paint your EVA foam?
I was about to say again.
How do you paint your EVA
How
foam?
you paint it? Again, everybody, the best thing is that before you paint anything, on EVA foam, you have to seal your foam. Heat sealing is a great thing to do. But heat sealing is just taking close cell foam. But the number one trick to all your foam is sealing it. Now you can seal it with a lot of things. Mod Podge, plastic dip. I have this stuff I love using called Polymatic 60. It's a vulcanized rubber that comes in a paste. It's still wet. It's used for mold making. For making rubber molds and custom layers and stuff. I love using that stuff. But the trick is your foam is just seal it. Once you seal your foam with something, that's when you start painting it. There's a stuff I have to use for a picture. I'll give you a bag. I just traced it right there. That's the top half. Now I'm going to trace the side element. This is another great thing about foam fabricating is that when you make a pattern, the best thing about it is people sculpt. I have friends who are sculptors, it's amazing. And they sculpt stuff. I don't know how they sculpt things symmetrically. It's because they're talented and they can do it. But as crafters, the best thing is when you make a pattern, you make one side about to do it right, left. Perfectly symmetrical. So therefore you don't have to sculpt or go bad, you just make one side of your pattern. But great question, yes. That was a good one. Any more questions, please? I love questions. Yes, sir.
Do you use any particular pattern making software or anything?
I'm sorry?
Do you use pattern making software? Or?
No, here's the thing. It's like I would like to. There's friends out there. There's all kinds of. Again, I have a friend who just started a YouTube channel. It teaches you how to build stuff and break it into patterns. But I have not gotten there yet because I'm old school. So what I do is I kind of did everything old school. Like, and what got me into pattern making was I have a friend named Ken Hall, who's also a foam fabricator professional in the movie industry, like myself. And he did a premiere for the movie Independence Day. I know I'm dating myself, guys. Independence Day was coming out of the theater, so Ken built a full-size foam fabricated alien from Independence Day. It's in the lobby of this theater. So I went to go see it, and I was like, my mind was blown, like, oh my God, Ken, that thing's amazing. How did you pattern that? He goes, oh yeah, I went off the toy. Made a pattern off the toy, projected it on the wall, traced it, made it. Boom. I'm like, what? I went to slap him. And again, everybody's like, is that cheap? I'm like, no, it's called brilliant. That's what called. So again, that's what blew my mind. I'm like, oh, that's genius. So what I started doing was, I started realizing I would find shapes around the house, or things I liked, and I would just wrap aluminum foil over them, cover them with duct tape, and then make a pattern from it. So if there's something I was trying to create or shape, I couldn't figure it out, I would just carve it out of styrofoam, wrap it in foil, make a duct tape. Now again, all you tech people out there, you're right, there's starting to be better ways of doing that. I have a friend who's got a YouTube channel. I'm definitely going to watch that to figure out new patterns. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do it, it's what works for you. So with that being said, my mission is I try to do stuff that people can do at home. Everything I do in my videos and everything I use, you can get at a hardware store or a craft store. That's my mission because in a lot of the industry is silicones and plastics and programs. So I try to get people to get a point to where if you don't have that stuff, that's not an excuse not to build. You don't have to have equipment, you don't have to have a high-tech stuff. Oh, by the way, guys, a Crenshaw sharpener, these are the best. The number one rule of making stuff is having a sharp blade. And the crazy thing is nothing dulls a blade faster than foam. Isn't that weird? You can't cut foam, but you can sure cut the hell out of yourself. So, I'll put a little sharp edge on this. And now, I'm going to proceed to cut this. Now, when I'm cutting this foam out, hard to see, guys. When I cut, though, I cut at a 90-degree angle, which means I'm going to cut down and make sure that I cut straight through. Here's the tricky part. I'm going to use a piece of foam as my mat because I'm not cutting this fabric here. And we'll come back and go, who did this? I think I was the night. But yeah, that's been my mission, is to try to keep, but I definitely am not against it. And I've announced this before, but I'll let you guys clue into this a little bit. I'm going to start looking at 3D printing. Because 3D printing is the wave of the future, and they're everywhere, they're becoming less and less expensive. So I realized that I have nothing against 3D printing. I think it's a fascinating thing to do. And that what I want to do, though, is I try to tell people, would you ever build a suit 3D printing? I'm like, no, because that's not the fun. The fun is figuring things out. The fun is actually crafting and making it myself. And that's the journey, that's the fun part for me. And if I just draw the computer printed, that takes the fun out. And for me, it's like, fun's not sitting down and sanding 3D lines all day. That would not be fun. So what I do is I want to get a 3D printer so I can build a suit and do accents with 3D printing, like little valves and details and things like that. Okay, I'm cutting. While I'm cutting in, the people always ask too, the reason I cut everything at 90 degrees is you want to make sure you put this back together the way it was in the pattern. See, I'm doing this, talking to you guys, and not cutting myself at the same time. How dare you. Good day, sir. But I want to say also, people, if you guys do not know this, this is my first time in Canada.
Wow, welcome to Canada.
And I have to be honest with you, the people I have to thank is all of you. If it wasn't for you people coming and watching my YouTube channels and watching my videos and buying my patterns and telling your friends about that,
I'm going to subscribe to you now.
So in a way, people always keep coming to my booth and saying, Ted, thank you for doing what you do. And I'm saying, no, thank you for telling your friends, and you telling your friends, and telling other people. Because now, C4 Ken called me and said, we would like to have you come out, Ted. And I said, have you heard of me? And they're like, yes. And I have you to thank for that, guys. Thank you so much. Because that's what keeps me doing what I do. And that's what inspires me. People always tell me how much I inspire them. And I think what's so amazing, I started a Facebook group. Guys, how many people are on Twitch? You know Twitch? Twitch is a live stream format where originally Twitch started with gamers. There's people who play video games, and I'm not much of a game watcher, but they started a thing called Twitch Creative, which was people, makers like myself, started Twitch channels. And Bill Duran got me started on that. And Bill's like, hey, you gotta do Twitch. I'm like, dude, I just started a YouTube channel. What do we do Twitch for? And he said, no, it's really great. It's a live streaming format. It's really cool. Like, okay, whatever. So again, I always discover when Bill says to do something, I just say yes. So I went ahead and started doing this live stream. What was so fun about it was, I'd stream every Monday and Tuesday from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I would build something, and people would come and chat, ask me questions. And it's amazing because I don't have to write people back. I can just ask me a question and I can just tell them why. It got to be really fun. And then the people that came in, I started following them. There's so many people, great builders and fabricators as well too. I'm like, this is amazing. So we all just hang out and chat. So people would just come in and start chatting with each other. It became this huge, great social circle of people hanging out. So what I realized is these people, when I'm not streaming, they're not talking. So I should create a format for these people to talk. So I started a Facebook group called Evil Ted's Phone Fanatics. And it's where people, if you're new to cosplay, it's a great place to join. You hang out. And there's amazing builders in there. And the reason I'm telling you this long-winded story is because when I started the Phone Fanatics, people would show up and say, hey, Ted, I'm really new. And they would post a picture of their costume. It would be this fucking amazing, like, foam fabricated Iron Man costume. And I'm like, that's amazing. And they're like, thank you, Ted, for all your stories. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't make that. You made that. And I didn't even want to try to make that. But yet they did. And the idea is that it makes my heart swell a little bit because it makes me humble because they're thanking me for this. And all I'm doing is, to me, the best way to put it is I give you a roadmap. This is a map that I'm going to give you to take you on this great journey. But it's up to you to take that journey. And you're going to go over bridges, you're going to run into trolls and monsters, and it's your job to fight through them. But I do give you a map that has an end result. That if you stick to this road, you stick to it long enough, you will get to your destination. And that is what I'm doing, and the fact that I've inspired people, that when they send me a picture, it inspires me to get at it again. I gotta give these people more information. I gotta give these people more techniques, because they're already mastering what I'm doing. I gotta up my game. Somebody's gonna steal my job. So, I joke. But the thing is, it's just so fun, is that that's inspiring to me, that I feel that I'm glad that I'm making an impact on people's lives, in the sense of like, because I want to show people that you can make amazing Hollywood-style props for a fraction of the budget. For the best example, people have said, somebody posted a really cool costume, and people are kind of going on about like how Hollywood would spend thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this costume, but yet this person made this for like, $40 or $50. And I always tell people that is true, but in Hollywood, what happens is that when you make a costume, it has to be R&D, they have to figure out how they're going to make it, and once you decide to make it, it has to be indestructible. It has to be bulletproof. And then when they make it, they don't just make one, they make 3 or 5 or 6 or 7. And if she has a helmet, like the Wasp, for example, the Wasp, that costume she has is newly sewn and pattern made, but they didn't make one of them, they had to make multiples. They have to have one for her, they have to have one for her stunt double, then they have to have ones with holes in it so that you can hang on a wire link. And she has a helmet, and you have to have multiple helmets, because whatever, if they're on set, it gets scratched or broken, they have to have a new one coming in. So you have to make things so you can make molds, make multiples. There's guys in the factory just pumping, and that's why you see them. They used to work at the prop house and make tons of stuff. And that's why it's expensive. But when you're making a costume for yourself, you don't need to make multiples. You don't have to make multiples. It doesn't have to be bulletproof. It just has to be good enough for you. And that's the cool thing about Paul. Once you make something, it's yours. Nobody's going to take it away from you. It's just yours. So that's the one thing, the cool thing is that I used to work in an industry where everything was all about molding. But now when you make something, you're just making one. So you don't have to withhold it. But the secret too, people used to ask me a lot, how long does it take? How long did it take you to make this, or how long did it take you to make that? I always tell them, are you asking how long it take me to make that, or how long it take you? Because I don't know your work ethic or your time it takes. So I always tell people, when you're making something, take as long as it takes. Take the time it takes. And don't do that crazy thing, there's a con coming up next week, so you want to make a costume, don't kill yourself. Plan in advance. Give yourself a couple of months. Here's a con you want to go to, start thinking about it, taking that time. I just realized I'm talking, not cutting. Hold on. I gotta concentrate. Because you know what happens if I don't concentrate when I'm cutting? I'll cut myself. There we go. Does anybody have any more questions? Yes?
I know that you have an Amazon account where people can purchase things through your account and get credit for it.
Yes, I do.
But also international.
Here's the thing. It's not. No, the U.S., and there is a thing we can set up for international. I haven't quite set up or figured it out yet. But after they started doing that, that new internet thing, what do they call it? Net neutrality changed everything. Because now it's kind of put these some loopholes and things with net neutrality. And so I got to do some looking into the law about international stuff. It's bizarre. So, but here's the thing. For all you makers out there that want to do creative, you want to do YouTube, you want to make a channel, one thing great about Amazon, if you have an Amazon account, you scroll down the very bottom of your Amazon account, it says become an affiliate. Fill that form out. What that means that you have a thing you're doing. You fill this program, you fill out your paperwork, and it gives you become an affiliate. And what that does, they'll give you links, they'll give you a little link with a code on it. So therefore, you grab that link from a store, and you tell your fans or friends who are watching, say, hey, you like what I'm doing, and want to have support, if you click and buy the link, Amazon loves it when you do this, because that drives traffic through Amazon, and you get kickback for that. That's a great resource. I get everybody, thank you so much for shopping for Amazon. Thank you. Because that helps a lot. So if you're shopping, but I unfortunately don't know if it works for you guys here in Canada. I know it helps for me in the States. But the other thing too helps is buying the patterns helps, which my mission, guys, I'll tell you right now, I'm trying to get more patterns in my store. I want to get more costume patterns in my store. Because I always think the things about my patterns, I try to keep them really simple and basic, so when you get them, you can kind of take my pattern and alter it and change it, add things to it, take away from it, you know, the helmet patterns are good when you do. Good question. Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was wondering, what do you use, like if you make a prop out of pink insulation foam, what do you cover it with so it doesn't break super easy? Or do you ever make props out of pink insulation foam?
No.
Okay.
Because it breaks really easy.
Yeah.
What I do
It's
is,
hard. I like it.
but here's the thing, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
The trick is, what I do is I approach the same way, I basically say, instead of doing it with insulation foam, I'm doing it as going back to foam. I think this foam is like this carbon sanding, but you can still do it with foam. You have to stack it up. And some things like that rain, for example, if I was to do that, I would probably just get some armature wire and cut a circle in foam and to make I cut a trench in one side of the foam, drop your armature wire inside the ring, and then glue the other top of foam on top of that, sand them together, and then with a rotary tool and the foam city and a mask, you do a little grinding. Once you get it grinded, you go back in with sandpaper and sand it. It's safe. Granted, it takes a little bit longer. What you to make it becomes a little bit more indestructible. But I like insulation foam for making patterns. I love. Don't get me wrong. I used to do the same thing. I stole. So I was doing Charlie the Robot from Scooby-Doo for Dragon Con. I didn't want to do it, but Charlie the Robot has this weird head. How do I make a pattern for that? So I took the picture of Charlie and traced it, drew it out big, and then stacked insulation foam and carved half of Charlie's head. Just shaved it, carved it to where it looked like Charlie's head, covered in foil, duct tape, made a pattern, flipped it, and right and left. And when I made the pattern, I realized it was too wide, so I made able to trim the pattern and go from there on. But that's usually for pattern making. But yeah, insulation foam it's a great medium, but in a metal product is always a little bit fragile. I mean, you can definitely still experiment with putting things on there. Probably like some resins or things to start there. That's a good question. Anybody else? Any questions? No, ready for this? I'm eating my foam up. Again, here's the number one rule. This is the missing link. The most exciting thing about EVA foam is heating your foam. EVA is dense and it's flat. And so when you see things like cool shoulder pieces and arm, you're like, how do you do that? You can make the pattern, and the foam only goes so far. So what I can do is I like to heat it. This is called heat forming. So foam, when you heat it, it cools quickly. So what I do is I rinse something, like I'm going to curl this. I'm not going to try to heat the whole thing. I'm just going to do one set at a time. So I do this. Nice heat gun.
Thank you.
She's not here. You got enough for one. Now, again. Now, so like this, it's hot. I spin it like this. Because all you want to do is put a slight curl to it. You want to be flat, so I just kind of pull with my finger, pull it a little bit. That bend in there. Like that. Put that one side, now we want to do the other side. What's so funny is the heat gun was originally made for stripping paint stuff on the wall. I guarantee heat guns are full. Now, people are buying the fall one. I don't think anybody's ever bought one to strip paint out there. Most people in the cosplay world work with two things. Foam or Warlock. Warlock is a thermal plastic. It's very big in Germany. But I found out the reason Warlock is mostly used in Germany because it's cheaper than foam. Foam is more expensive. I think it might have changed over a couple of years now, but it's the complete opposite here in the States. Warlock is very expensive, and foam is cheap. So again, this is why I just recommend working with mostly foam. I'm sorry. I think the foam is a little bit more available than it used to be in Germany now, because I'm seeing a lot more foam in Germany now, and More blunt.
That's indoors.
It's just, in Germany, it's, I know it just in Europe, more it's like an overall price, and it's like, well, it's cheaper over there because it's readily available to them. But I just, thermoplastic, I always tell people, some people work, it's what you're used to working with that. A lot of people who are roller builders, they have a hard time transferring the foam. I'm like, gosh, it's the same thing. You can't do it. It's easy. It's like, another thing that's really easy to do is, I have friends who are leather workers, and, it's just, and they're like, oh, I can't work with foam. I'm like, it's the same thing, but cheaper. You screw up a piece of leather, that's pricey. I screw up the foam. Again, now, you guys can see, I got a little bit of curve on both sides. What I'm going to do now, on the side here really quickly, I'm going to keep this one. Same thing, you notice I'm doing both sides, so I kind of like trying to heat up. Same with both, the foam just warms up. Again, I know you guys have probably seen my videos. I do this with tested. I do some of my own videos. But the difference between the videos and me doing it live is you can ask questions. Because I'm right here. Yes, sir.
Is there a way to bend the EVA foam without the heat gun?
No. I always people say, hey, can you use a hairdryer? And I'm like, no. You can stretch it and pull it a little bit. I just find the heat makes it a lot easier to bend. Now, I have friends that just are crazy. They put a sheet of foam in the oven, and heat the whole thing in a pot. But next thing you know, your entire house smells like EVA foam. Like, who wants for dinner? EVA foam? All right. Again, you guys see this little curve here? The reason I'm showing it's not a big curve, just a slight curve. This really makes a big difference. Just a little bit of a curve. You don't have to kill it, just give a slight curve to it. But you want this, not this. Gotta be, make sure. Now, for today, I'm using glue. Everybody knows I love bars, but I have trouble with bars. I bought a glue tube I got when I went to this con called Epicon, which was run by Italians. So they bought their version of contact adhesive from Italy, a tube, and it works really well. So when it comes to glues, I find that it's good to use contact adhesive. Most countries have their own version of contact. I think you guys have Lavage, or Lavage, yeah. And it's the equivalent of like bars, so good contact adhesive. The reason I use bars is because that's what I was trained, it's industry standard here in Hollywood, in the movie industry we work with. That's what the leather workers use for putting the soles of shoes on. So that's why they just kind of get exposed to bars. And after working with bars, I love it. There's another stuff people love using called drop glue. And I think it's Europe, I think it's French or whatnot. And again, I don't like drop because it dries too quick. So, all right, we're going to go guys about the pieces. Now, before assembling the helmet, the thing we're going to do is we're going to glue the darts first. The darts are these sides. Just like in clothing, there's darts, side darts. So we're going to glue these guys first. Like this dart, and this dart before you assemble the sides. So we're going to glue these guys first. So I have my glue right here. And the secret to gluing stuff is getting pieces of foam. Now I usually have a brush with a glue pot, but I have this in tube, which works just as well. This is the Italian glue they gave me years ago, and it still works. Is I always find I apply to the foam, right? To one side here. I take a piece of scrap foam, like so, and the trick is I smooth it out. Make sure I cover the entire foam surface. Any excess you scoop up, and I just make a bunch of foam scraps because you can get right in there like little corner wedges. You can't get a brush in there, so you just go pick the scrap foam. Scoop it. Same thing with this side. Same thing. Again, you guys can't smell this, but it's strong. Okay. Now, for PT, detailed work and small pieces of foam, like you super glue sometimes, it always works really well. Yes, sir.
How about Gorilla Glue? Have you worked with that?
I know, I have not. I have not played with Gorilla Glue. I know Gorilla Glue has a tendency to be expanding glue. The actual glue itself is expanding, but I have not tried, I know they have their own version of super glue. I think most of them are super glue pretty well. And it's always good for attention and it works fast. But I have not worked with that. But that's a good question. Any other questions while I get high from where we're going? This is up. Woo! Oh, listen. Okay.
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering if you ever used FlexiPaint before,
FlexiPaint, yes, I did.
and what did you think with it?
FlexiPaint, I like, I think it's interesting for what it is. You have to brush it on pretty heavily with a brush quickly, and then when it dries, it gets a weird silicone body to it, you have to put sealant on it. I always find by the time the sealant wears off, it gets sticky again. So, I kind of meh on FlexiPaint, but I don't know if you saw the next thing. Remember next thing?
Yeah.
FlexiPaint.
Red Moon Cosplay sells like FlexiPaint and that hex paint as well.
Yeah, the HexaPaint, way better than Flex. HexaPaint is pretty awesome. It's water-based, and the colors are really dense, and you just got one or two colors, and you're like done. It's good for base colors. I don't do a lot of detail work, but detail work, I like use acrylics. But for a base color, the HexaPaint, if you have a costume, and the majority of the costume is red, I'll definitely do it with HexaPaint. But also, when the cool thing about sealing your costume is that when you're sealing, it's like you're not hard, it's like part of the rubber. I'll pigment the rubber, the color of the base of the suit, so it makes it easier to paint. When you're building a costume, here's a good thing we're talking about. If your costume is white, or red, or yellow, you want to make sure the base underneath is light, or white, or something, because if you try to put like reds, or yellows on a black base or gray base costume, you take 20 coats, and then by the time you get done, it paint's too thick. So always think out of mind, when you're building something, just don't grab anything and start building it. Make sure that your colors, if your costume is going to be a lighter color, work with a lighter base. And also when you're using Sharpies or markers, make sure you wipe that Sharpie off with either alcohol, because that stuff will come back and haunt you. That's why when I work with something, I end up using pencil for 4.5 minutes. The light things, it's going to start bleeding. Okay. While these guys are drying, see what I want. Let me dry out. Yeah, okay. Again, hard to see, but when I push these two together, I make sure I test the top edge first. When laying stuff together, people always say, hey Ted, how do you make your seams good? I said, it's because you try to glue them right the first time. Make sure it's nice and flush, dark's glued. Then go again, round two. I always kind of use my fingers as a barometer when I'm gluing the edge. I always make sure the top edge touches first. Lined up. Got it. Again, if you guys don't notice, on the side of these helmets, these little notches, these are registration marks on the helmet. The reason we have them is because magically, we got to put this all back together. And so we have to know where things are going to go. We have to have the registration marks. I was telling a story a while back about I worked with foam, and I would just cut things and start gluing things together, but I didn't have registration marks. I would just glue it kind of eyeball, and what would happen if the costume was a little wonky or something was not right, it would drive me crazy. And all of a sudden I was working on a job for some other foam fabricator guy. He was making patterns, he pulled out a pin, started making registration marks. The lightning bolt went off in my head, and went, oh, yeah, registration mark. That's where my stuff's not working. So again, I learned from other people. So let me smooth this up really quick. Again, I'm really obsessive about rubberless glue. The thinner the glue is, guys, the better. Contact adhesive is called contact adhesive. And thus, the way it works within the title itself, you apply it to both surfaces and let it dry, and you contact them together. Some glues, you just kind of put glue on until it dries, like super glue or epoxies. Contact adhesive does not work that way. How it works, you gotta put it on thin and let both surfaces dry. And that's when I first started doing videos, people got really confused by that. I realized because they don't contact adhesives. Yes, sir.
After the whole gluing process, how do you like seal up all the seams and cracks?
Like I said, again, it all helps if you do it Try to line up as you're gluing them. Now granted, you are going to have some mishaps and some accidents. So with that, I use this joint compound called Quick Seal. It's acrylic caulking they use for bathrooms. I'm sure every country has their own version of it. So if you can't find Quick Seal in the country, it's basically just make sure you're looking for acrylic caulking. It has to be acrylic. The reason I like acrylic is because it's non-toxic, and you can just smear it with your finger and just use one of those water to smooth it out. But it has a tendency to shrink a little bit. So if you work on something, let it dry for like 45 minutes and go back and reapply it again. So if you have a big deep hole, you fill it, let it dry, and sink a little bit, just go back over it again. 5 minutes, no pressure. No pressure. Like everybody, this is how dangerously close we are. That's what happens when you talk and you work. Again, your eyes are not getting nearly as high as I am right now. So while the front is drying right here, we're going to do the back. These are great questions, everybody. People ask me all the time what got me started. When I was a kid, I love sci-fi, TV shows and stuff. And I love movies and things. But there's a couple of films that blew my mind as a child. One was called The Day the Earth Stood Still. And it was a great sci-fi classic film. And the writing and the photography, black and white, shot in the early 50s. If you guys have not seen this film, I think they tried to make a whole remake in 2009 with Keanu Reeves, who I like, but the film was awful. But a great movie. And then as a kid, in Planet, Star Wars, but a TV series called Space 1959. And Jerry Anderson did the show. So he was doing those puppet shows. But he made a great live action show. And that show, as a kid, I was blown away with. And they didn't have toys or things you could buy at that show. It wasn't really that popular. It did pretty well, but they didn't have a lot of action figures or toys or props. And that's one of my other favorite shows that inspired me. I was making stuff, making things out of cardboard and phasers. And I built whatever I could get my hands on. So cardboard, poster board, duct tape. But that is what got me started in crafting and making my own stuff. What's so great now, guys, is there's so much stimuli right now. You got video games and movies and Netflix and shows and anime. It's like, it's just amazing all the stuff that's inspiring people to build. And I see these people, the kids dressing up as characters from Overwatch. It just, I think it's mind-boggling they actually can do that. Hold on. This is my technique for drawing. Any questions? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Once you're done saying something, what kind of print would you do on the inside of it for sealing? Like, would you plastic it or anything?
No, when it comes to inside, I like to keep the foam like foam. Like if it's something that's not showing, I always seal the outside, but the inside, if your helmet's, sometimes I'll make like a Viking helmet or a night helmet that's kind of big. I'll go back into the upholstery foam and pat the inside so it's comfortable to wear, of that kind of stuff. But for the inside, I just usually, if something shows, I just go back and paint, just paint over it. But I very rarely see the inside. I'm all about sealing the outside. Or you'll see the outside and see a little bit of the edge. It kind of wraps around, you can see the inside, it's kind of a little bit of that edge. But, here we go. This should dry now. So again, like the front, those registration marks, you better stick yourself. Don't you do that for me? Okay. Contact adhesive too is a magic window because it can get too dry. So when I started teaching people write to me, I'm having problems with things not sticking together or popping apart. There's two things. You can put too much on, or not enough glue, or you let it get too dry. There's so many different variables. So I always tell people, it's a trial and error when you start working. This stuff is getting better with it over time. All you got there, you get the front half, right there. I start getting the back now, like that. Like that notch, like that. Again, registration marks. This is amazing. It's like putting your puzzle back together. And the other thing with registration marks is, they don't just magically line up. You got to make sure that they fall where they fall. You sometimes have to push and pull to make sure they line up. So don't let the phone tell you where it's going to go. You tell where it's going, because you know why? You're the boss of the phone. Not the phone's not the boss of me, man. You don't tell me what to do phone. All right. So now, again, we have two sides. What we're going to do is we're going to do this side right here. You got to do one side at a time. We do the dark stuff. Looks like all the dark stuff now. We're going to do the side here. And again, I don't know this, if any of you people live in Italy, this is the glue. This stuff's awesome. It dries quickly. So guys, since we're running down getting close to our deadline, does anybody have any questions for me? And yes, sir.
What do you achieve higher velocity?
Oh, yes. He's asking, how do I make a higher gloss finish? Once you paint something, you can play with this lacquer paints. There's acrylic lacquers you can buy, and there's stuff called Humbucker. Is a brand of lacquer that comes in an aerosol can. And I got some from my Vampire Hunter costume. I got gloss and I got matte finish. And that gloss was insane. It sprays, it dries, and it stays glossy, like super shiny. So again, I have links for that on my website. But the brand, I think, is called Humbucker. And they sell for the artists. People do oil paintings when they're all done, they seal it. And they usually sell the can. You get it also in the can. You do it with brush, but I just like it in cans. Really well. Oh my God, I'm so high. Woo! All right, here we go. Everybody's like, what? What's he talking about? I'm like, oh, I get the hands, they're all over my body. I don't see hands, man. Hold on. I should be saying, don't try this at home. All right, here we go. This thing is all smeared up. But yeah, the thing with foams is that it's amazing what you can do now. Crafting industry has changed so much when I was a kid. Acrylic paints when I was a kid were garbage. They really were. Wall paints were garbage. And it wasn't until everything that, if you wanted really the paints, like the kid growing up in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, it was automotive. You had to go to automotive stores to buy paints, use stuff. And now the movie industry, you can get really high quality acrylic paints. There's Cratex, there's Nova Colors, and it's not the stuff that used to be when I was a kid. It's amazing the quality of paints right now. It's just insane. My other favorite modeling paint is Tamaya. It's a Japanese brand of paint. They put in small jars and do a lot of stuff with detail work. And again, the pigments of these paints, take a brush, just go one coat and you're done. It's amazing. I love using that stuff to airbrush too. Again, if you really want to get in a costume, it's all about the tools. And I recommend a good knife, cutting mat, a sharpener, and as time evolves, a critter gun, an airbrush, build up your supplies. You'll definitely get there. Anybody have other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Everyone wants to know, why is her name Evil 10? I just want to know.
She's everybody.
She is everybody, ladies and gentlemen. And also an extraordinary cosplay. All right, my question. Here's a story. I'm going to tell you it's going to be really exciting. But it's true. I have a friend, a dear friend of mine, was a roommate. He's also named Ted. We lived together in a house. So go figure that. Two Teds. And so we came to know each other with our friends and family. They just call it the Teds. And it became Ted 1, Ted 2, Ted A, Ted B. I was like, hell no. It's good Ted, evil Ted. And everybody said, well, who's evil? Like me. Like, why? Who wants to be good? So that was a going joke among friends and family. So I was working on some videos, and I worked with Rob Zombie. You guys familiar with Rob Zombie? Yeah. All right. Rob Zombie was going on tour with the band Korn, and it was the Rock is Dead tour. And so my job was to do effects and costumes for his show. So Rob and I started building stuff together, and he would tell me, oh, this is super cool. So I started building stuff for Rob. And my catchphrase with Rob would keep going, make it cool. That was Rob Zombie's art direction. I want this robot, but I don't know, make it look cool. So I did all stuff for Rob, and so I was going on tour with Rob Zombie, and Rob was panicking, going, Ted, there's a lot of Teds on the tour. It's going to be confusing. I said, oh no, sir. There's only one evil Ted. So he started laughing, so I made t-shirts with my name, Evil Ted on it. So I had shirts, t-shirts, and sweatshirts with the logo Evil Ted, that was it. And my friend Tim came with me, he was Grim Tim. Grim Tim, Evil Ted. And when the tour was over, I had these t-shirts with my name on them, and I would just wear them to work. And so people just kept calling me Evil Ted. Next thing you know, the nickname stuck, and I became Evil Ted. So when I started a YouTube channel, what else would I call it but Evil Ted channel? There's a long-winded story for a short answer. A short question for me. All right, guys, here's some marks right here. We'll show you really quickly. This mark doesn't look like it's going to line up, so what you have to do is do not expect that sucker to line up. I got to take this guy like this pole. Watch this pulling, because they have to line up. So I got to pull, make sure it gets right in the mark, because that registration is very important, because if you don't get it, it's not going to go back the way you want it to. So you got to make sure. Again, you're not the boss of me, man. You're not the boss of me, man. Phone, I'm the boss. I'll show you where you go. Okay, here we go. Almost there, got it? All right, boom. Look at this, we're so close. I know minutes away, everybody. Hang in there. Wait a second. Your moments. Again, everybody, this was once a flat piece of EVA foam. Almost there, this is exciting. So, any other questions? That was good. I told my secret about the Evil Ted thing, now I'm not as nearly as cool a mystery. I was supposed to say, like, people were terrified of me. I used to be notoriously an asshole. But no, I'm just probably made by the same.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned airbrushing.
Yes.
Is there a particular type of paint or brand of paint that you recommend?
I love, like I said, I love the Tamaya paints. Badger makes good paints. I find that if for costuming, yeah, the Tamayas are great. Cratex, all that acrylic paint. And the Cratex too, what's cool about them is they can thin them down with water chip through an airbrush too. There's so many different kinds of paints. But Tamaya is my favorite. And again, I need to update my shopping list on my website too. Because a lot of my stuff, everything, again, guys, when you watch my videos, if you have any questions on what I'm using in the videos, I have them all listed. Every video I made, if you see something in that video, I have a link in it just below the video. I make sure I go to the channel, make sure I post everything I work on. So, everything I speak of today, when you watch the videos, I'll have them listed below. Oh my God, I'm so buzzed. Oh my guys, I'm so close. These are great. Any more questions? Because if you don't, we'll start singing. Oh, I love I like the X-Acto blades for the small ones. For the detail cuts, the standard X-Acto blade, the ones that are so sharp you can kill yourself with. I like those guys a lot for the small foam. But for cutting foam in general, just a good old-fashioned box cutter. The reason I like the box cutters is that these big white blades on them. And when you're cutting foam that's almost a half-inch thick, it just makes it easier. Because when you cut foam, an X-Acto knife for a really thick foam, it's kind of hard to get a clean cut on the top of it. So I just like standard box cutter you guys can get anywhere. The trick is this blade. It's like the same blade I've had like once. Eventually the swap this out. It's the sharpening. That's the number one rule of foam fabricating is having a sharp blade. And that's why you want to get a sharpener. It's great to have a sharpener. You don't want to get long.
Is there a brand that sharpens better?
This brand is Crenshaw. Again, one of my videos, I have this on my store too. On my website, these are linked. Oh no, these are just standard box cutting blades, no big white ones. Yeah, you guys have my $56 on there. All right, guys, moments away. Are you guys ready? So what's going to happen is I need a participation from the audience. So while this is nice and dry, when it gets close, I'm going to want to drum roll. Okay, we don't hold attention yet. I'm already high. I get high, I can be an anxiety, I have an anxiety attack at the same time.
How much do you usually really mean to your
What? Who is this person? How dare you, sir? Okay. See, this is already dry, sharing at the same time. That's almost like that's what naturally going to go. Again, flat foam, cutting, shaping, heat forming, All these magical tricks that make phone look, once was flat, now I got a piece of a foam armor. And you're probably saying, Ted, you make it look easy. The problem is, yes, it is that easy. The only difference between me and you is I do this a lot. I can't stress this enough. It's not talent that makes you a good builder, people. It's passion and the drive to do it. Because if you really want to make something, you will make it. And here's the other thing. There's a horrible word people have been using lately called failing. It's not failing, it is learning. So every time you fail, replace the word fail with learning, because that's what you're doing. You are learning. And there's this great phrase now that failure is an option. It is, always. Because that's how you learn. Nobody does something right and perfect the first time. It's absurd. There's no such thing. You know? Eddie Van Halen is a great story his brother used to tell. When he would come home from high school, Eddie being a bunk, he had a bunk bed, and he'd be in the top playing his guitar. Playing guitar, just picking. And his brother would go out and party all night, till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd come home at 3 o'clock in the morning, guess who's still in the bed going, Eddie Van Halen. He put the hours in, massive amount of hours, and now he's an amazing guitar player. Was that talent, or was that passion? Passion. Yeah, push through it. And that guy wanted to play the guitar. And he's the best because he wants to be. He played guitar. So, again, not talent, passion, people. All right, here we go. Drum roll. Now I'm screwed up. Here we go, here we go. Light. No pressure. Here we go. All like before. Here's the part that push the ball. You're not the boss of me. Stay in there. Got that. Oh, snap. Home stretch. Guess what? We gotta go.